I am so sorry about this.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left, cause I've been blasting and
I am just so dejected. The hand that was dealt to us by fate, the law of surprise was sprung upon us, and now we are saddled with a destiny most unkind. And other Witcher references that I don't fully understand. But okay, toss a coin over there or something or the other.
Toss a coin to your
Valley
reader.
of plenty.
Oh, Valley of Plenty! Oh, toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty, oh Valley of Plenty, oh. I am, of course, kidding, because yes, I've watched The Witcher, but we're not talking about The Witcher, sadly.
Talking about something that has nothing to do with it. At least
No.
I hope so. Dear God, please.
No, listen, I did not even know The Witcher at the time, but again, we are back on our usual BS, guys, because it is time, once again, darkened corpse festering well that was my fanfiction.net career, to trudge up another entry into my infamous saga.
Yes?
Because as I promised you before, we were done with the main story, but there are spin-offs. And let me tell you, about those spin-offs. There's plenty of them. It's a valley of plenty of spin-offs, if you will.
Valley of plenty.
Plenty of spin-offs indeed. Oh no.
Toss a
Oh.
coin to us, readers.
Yes, toss a coin on Patreon, please.
Because we are not going to tell you about them. We are going to sing to you about them.
I don't think I have the mental capacity to endure this vast array of idiocy in song form.
Can we not?
Can we not? Yes, that's a good question. Can we not? Speaking of which, you don't know what we're going to be reading tonight, do you?
No, that's why we're waiting for you to give us the thing.
Yes, I'm going to spring the law of surprise on you, and which you agreed to.
Expectations.
I remind you, you agreed on the law of surprise. Yes, it was implicit. We started reading fanfictions. You agreed to be reading fanfictions. You didn't know which fanfictions you were going to get, and neither did I at the time. So by the law of surprise, now we're all entangled into some really complicated and convoluted, but also plot convenient
Mess?
device that allows us to be in this mess.
Well, it comes with the territory, doesn't it?
Anyway, this...
Better you can think this as a funeral service. for your
Okay,
work.
before I spring onto you this fanfiction that we're going to be reading tonight, I need you to forewarn you. How do I put this?
Dark themes, edgelord stuff, you know.
Oh, extremely edgy and extremely lordy too. But
And angsty as well.
extremely
What does the
angsty,
band have-
yes.
What does the band have to do with this?
Okay, no, I'm serious about this. I looked at my catalog of classic literature about 5 minutes ago.
Yes, guys, classic literature.
Yes.
Of course, because he's an intellectual.
Let me continue.
No.
Let me continue.
yes.
Because I have completely forgotten about this particular spin-off series that we are going to be tackling tonight. Because there are a lot more spin-offs than I remember there were in the first place. So, yes, And upon reaching up to look at one of these spin-offs, these Valley of Plenty spin-offs that I have on my catalog, and I rediscovered this forgotten series in particular, an explosive headache was sprung upon me, as it were. So I needed a minute to recover from the shock.
Okay.
This is the title. This is the fanfiction that we are going to be reading tonight. Please take your time to react accordingly to the title.
Okay. The void within. Void of sorrow.
I wonder if this is about void.
Oh no. Oh god, this sounds like some kid who thinks he's being a pretentious writer.
Oh yes? Well, why don't you read the summary then?
Certain characters are meant to suffer. Oh, hi, Harlan Ellison, wannabe. Because I want them to. Spin-off / sequel of the Tales saga, inspired by the lyrics of Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Goody, it's one of these stories.
It's one of these stories, that's the mood. The well is not only filled with festering corpses, it is also filled with plenty of brooding and angst.
Hey guys, remember the time in the 2000s when songfics were a thing?
Yes, I guess
Yeah.
they are a thing. I didn't know they were, but here we
they
are.
a thing, but they are these days much rarer.
Yeah, they are. But back in 2000s, there was a ton of them.
I am
Everywhere.
myself guilty of taking part in that particular trend, as you
I
well
wasn't.
know.
As was I as well.
I think everybody at some point, had a song in their heart, in their blackened, dead heart of emo teenagers that they wanted to share with the world. So yes, everybody, this is one of the plenty of spin-offs that are currently available for my Tales saga. Yeah, let me just open up my zip and relax and unwind. Ah, that's much better.
Madhog, not in public.
Okay, so as you guessed correctly, this is about Void. I might have mentioned that a couple of times before that Void was my favorite character to write for.
For reasons unbeknownst to all.
Well, okay, I was off the hype of my own train, as it were, or something along those lines. Because you see, I discovered that Void was a character that existed in a game that nobody remembered, and perhaps one of my, if not my, greatest accomplishment on this accursed site was to convince the administrators of the site to actually add Void as an available character on your fic description. So if you see Void listed as a character in a Sonic the Hedgehog fanfiction, you have me to thank for that.
Yay!
I truly deserve it. Honestly, nobody would have cared about Void otherwise. I say that with all the confidence, all the unearned confidence in the world.
Yeah. So I'm guessing the ground rules are we do not read the lyrics of the Evanescence song.
Which are listed at the beginning of every chapter. Let's just pretend that we all know the song because we all know the song, and even if you don't know the song, you are lying because you know the song. Everybody knows the song.
Everybody knows the song because everybody heard the song.
Also, we all know about My Immortal. So, there is that.
That was actually my favorite song by her as well.
I don't know anything that's going to happen in this fanfiction. I only know that it's about Void, which is bizarre because, as we no, Void didn't really end up, I was going to say physically healthy by the end of Tales, as you might
true.
recall.
Uh-huh. He got
And-
a bad case of the D.
He had a bad case of the easily misconstrued D, yes.
Yep, the D's.
So, Devar, why don't you read the entire description of this fanfiction, just so that we can have a chuckle or two? I mean, the rating, the language, everything.
Right. Okay, so this fan fiction, we're gonna call it, is rated T.
I mean, it is a fanfiction. I don't know why you're being coy about it.
It's English angst drama
That's the genre, yes.
with 3 chapters and 5,000 words in full.
And it has 10 reviews. It's been
And 5 favorites.
favorited by 5
Follow.
people, followed by 1, and the characters are Void and Tails.
This was originally published on January the 9th of 2009 and was updated January 11th of 2009. So, in other words, this is kind of like almost a decade old. Or is it?
Longer than a decade at this point.
11 years.
It's
Yeah,
the 11th birthday of this atrocity.
The words "oh no" come to mind. That
Oh, no.
something like this is old.
Oh no. So, yes, we have 3 chapters of this, and luckily for you, the chapters are short. So,
As
I
long as
guess,
they do not
I mean,
make
we,
them long.
we can start at any point in time. I don't have much else to say. I don't remember anything that happens in this. So it's going to be a surprise for me too.
There is still one thing to decide.
What?
Who will start?
The Void Within, Void of Sorrow. Chapter 1.
Void's
Once
bizarre adventures.
upon a time, there was a deformed prince who, S birth, wasn't supposed to happen, but happened anyway.
Really?
Yes, really.
Really?
Apparently, once upon a time, there was a cursed princess who, S birth, caused the death of thousands. That checks out. Once upon a time, there was a love that went beyond the concept of time and space, life and death. A love built with the sufferance and comfort, desperation and will to live, ellipsis, the strongest of loves, ellipsis, and yet the most unusual.
This is either the most pessimistic view of romance in the Witcher series or the most optimistic way of looking at love in Disney movies. Take your pick.
Which one is worse?
Can you feel the
No, a boy who was born from a seed and whose entire life has been nothing more than a hoax. Ellipsis, a sadistic game orchestrated by a mischievous manipulator. That's not the adjective I would use.
Which mischievous manipulator? Because we had Ixis Nogus and
That's-
the narrator.
That's it. That's Sexis Nogus. That rascal. Also known as Ixis Adorable at some point. Remember that old chestnut? I do.
It's been a long while for me, so I have poor memory issues.
Devar was the one who came up with Sexis Nogus.
Yes, completely by accident, or so he says.
So he says.
So he says.
So
It
he
is so I
says.
say.
Toss a coin to your pervert.
You are going to need a lot of coins with this group.
Oh, ballet of plenty. Oh, ballet of penises. A blazing cat girl who S feelings. This is not right. That's what I'm trying to convey here. Whose feelings and emotions were dangerous for the who dared to oh my god. for the who dared to even approach her. That's just...
You are approaching me!
That's giving my spine a good case of the wincing.
Oh. Glacial.
It's not that funny. If destiny existed, one would say that these two were meant to be together.
I mean, Destiny does exist. And there is also Destiny 2 that exists.
Boo!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here all night.
No, you won't. United by their own sorrows, embraced in their own fable, despite the cruel obstacles that life would have thrown at them. In a way, such thing has been realized. They would stay embraced inside a frozen coffin in their own fabled kingdom. With plenty of ellipses.
Of ellipses are plenty.
Anyway.
Their sanctuary, a sanctuary. Kingdom Hearts 2 reference.
I would have gone with the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I mean, it all comes back to Kingdom Hearts one way or the other, so...
Yeah, just like the story. I still say Kingdom Hearts is much more easier to...
You do remember that one, though.
I remember that one.
You remember that. I also remember that, and I hate it. I still hate it to this very day.
I'm sure we can still all agree that the lore of Bionicle still makes less sense than this.
Oh, wow. Shots are fired.
Wow.
He's been deadly...
Tried to read the lore of Bionicle?
Why would I ever get into that, honestly? It was way past my time when it first came out.
It died on arrival.
Also that.
I'm not into Bionicle either, but I've seen...
Can I please continue?
Volume that it is.
Yeah,
Can we stop the Bionicle talk now and forever and never bring it up again?
I make no promises, but please.
Oh my god. He's been deadly wounded by the being who claimed his own soul. He's been stripped of his own life force, and she couldn't let his seemingly inevitable death to overcome.
I did not realize this was a crossover with Mortal Kombat.
That's why she did what she did. She summoned her powers, her flames, to transport both of them in a world in which they could live in peace, encased in each other's embrace, forever and eternally. Or so they thought! And then there is this laughter. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me. No more. What is love without sorrow? Just a childish crush. These two have gone through a lot of pain indeed. And yet, ellipsis, it is not enough. I want them to suffer even more. The narrator is having a heel turn or something.
Again.
I don't know. Again.
Now I can believe this was written by you.
I mean, I have a bit of a sadistic streak. I want to watch their physical and mental breakdown for the sadistic pleasure of some readers, and my own, of course. I mean, I would say that this is pretentious, but it's actually the opposite because it's being honest about its intentions.
Well, can't fault you for that one.
Who am I? A god? A devil? I'm just the one who writes things! That doesn't really have such a gravitas when you say it out loud. I am the one who writes things. I am the one who knocks.
Just like my college tutor told me whenever I wrote a report, if you use the word things, go back again. You shouldn't use that word. No one likes the word things.
I agree. And generally improvise them. For now, I shall narrate this rather gruesome story and let chaos drive my hand. Because chaos.
Okay, Isipal, get the popcorn. We have some gruesome story.
I'm sorry, we are out of popcorn. Only things we have are ham, cheese, and scenery. Which one do you want?
You might want to have something to chew, because the next line is ho ho ho. Ooh boy, you may refer to me as this world's sorrow.
I didn't realize the narrator from the Gauntlet reboot in the early 2000s was here.
No, it's the narrator from Princess Tutu, obviously.
I think we should just shorten it to ATVS.
What?
As this world's sorrow. ATVS. ATWS.
ATVS.
We will not be using that. For now, I shall begin the show. Phase 1, separation. Phase 2, profit.
No, it's phase 2, question mark, then phase 3, profit.
I don't even know what to make of this. This is such nonsense right off the bat.
I mean, are you trying to take the Eye of Argon's trophy?
I take the young wounded prince away from his beloved one. I heal his wounds and gift him with a whole new life force. Then I'll bring him into another dimension, away from her, alone. Oh, yes.
Deus Ex Machina is supposed to happen at the end of the story, not at the beginning.
You see, I'm not a god that's resolving the plot. I am a god that's instigating the plot. That's different. I am the villain, basically. What part of this didn't make it clear that I am the villain? That the writer is the villain? The writer was always the villain in this story. From the beginning, in fact. Anyway. Ah, yes, that's a good starting. Let us observe his reaction then. Mwahaha! 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 Mwaha! Mwaha. Cough. Where am I? The far you go.
I will start this first chapter of sorrow. Despite being night, he could recognize his surroundings thanks to the street lamps. It was a city, a human city by the looks of it, only totally unfamiliar.
Suddenly, the street lamp started going off and he could see a motorcycle riding across the sky.
And he wasn't supposed to be there. And without her, he remembered everything. The betrayal of his master, her beloved one's sacrifice, and ultimately their own encasement into their frozen fable, where they were supposed to live happily ever after. Then again, fables are for kids, aren't they?
So edgy, you guys. This ain't your brother's Grimm's fables.
Hey, I have checked out fables. It's not for kids.
He looked terrified, troubled, and tired. Oh, that's Icy Pal.
He looks terrified, troubled, and tired at any point in time, yes.
He couldn't even stand on his 2 feet.
Just like Icy Pal.
Well, he sat down, so of course. He was a unique being.
Just like Icy Pal.
Oh, that's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
A creature like no others in the human or Mobian world.
Just like Icy Pal.
He was a Cedrian.
Just like Icy Pal.
No, I'm not.
The latest step in plants evolution.
Just like Icy Pal.
A sentient anthropomorphic plant-like form.
Yes, just like Icy Pal.
Just like his beloved mother used to be.
Just like his beloved mother, Icy Pal, used to be.
Okay, I think we can put the joke to bed now, don't you?
Yes, we can put the bag into the joke into the bed, whatever you just said.
Put the joke to bed, I said.
Take it behind the barn and use the shotgun.
Cosmo, her name was. He knew for certain that his own life force has been used to heal her. If he was back in his own dimension, then he could go and find her. Then he remembered his condition.
His condition, ho ho ho.
He looked down at himself.
I still have cool shoes.
He was a teen by the age of 15, and thanks to an enormous time paradox, another of his former master's doing, in brackets I should add, he was now older than his parents were.
That's a whole can of worms.
Oh!
Different!
His mother used to be a kid when she released the seed from
Oh!
he would have grown and
Oh!
was
No!
his father.
Oh no! Oh no!
Sounds so wrong, and Ross would probably be trying to not grin.
Phrasing is important.
Oh my gosh!
Or better, his
Oh.
idealistic father, since he was the one who loved Cosmo and planted her seed in the ground.
Oh my god. Oh, this seeding and planting, and it's a valley of plenty, all right? Plenty of seeds in the ground. Oh gosh. Oh goshy gosh.
Tails. When we said plow the earth, we didn't mean it that way.
Well, you know what they say, you reap what you sow.
Oh. Two-tailed kitsune known as Tails. He was the only one with parents younger than him.
That's mighty presumptuous of you.
And the thing obviously bothered him.
Oh, you don't say.
I mean,
Don't say.
I'm less bothered, but more like confused to wrap my head around the concept.
Yes, I mean, the way it is presented here, you might think it's a Winnie the Pooh, oh bother, situation.
But right now, there was another problem at hand. How did he arrive there? And what happened to Blaze? His flaming princess. When you say flaming princess, it sounds like as if she was, like, effing and blinding everywhere.
I mean, she was at some point, wasn't she?
Yes. Suddenly, a noise could be heard, and from the dark of the night...
In the dark of the night, people will find you.
a couple of bright, round eyes could be seen. The Black Mage from Final Fantasy series, you in the wrong place, sorry mate. Wrong fan fiction.
Oh, I see. This is a crossover with the Cats movie.
The unmistakable lights of a human vehicle getting dangerously close to the Cedrian. I almost said disgustingly for some reason.
Well, it's a disgusting human vehicle.
Who happened to be right in the middle of the road. If it isn't luck...
No, you need to be more dejected about it.
if it isn't luck...
You sound like a fat pigeon.
The impact was rather painful, understatement if I do say so myself, and scary.
He was eating his scary butt.
Painful for the victim and scary for the driver. I'm pretty sure it was scary for the victim too.
Santa ran over my grandma. I guess I can shoehorn that here as well.
Excuse me, it is Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yes, but who was riding the reindeer? That's the real question.
Oh my! Oh my!
The human's first instinct was to leave him in the middle of the street, because that is totally what every human does.
Well, a good percentage, yes.
And scram away as fast as he could. Fortunately for the plant boy, curiosity had the better of him.
Well,
The
good thing he
overland.
got run over by the guy with the bad percent.
The overlander descended from his vehicle. He was an old man with big dog-like eyebrows, white hair, and a big nose.
Oh no! No!
I hope it's not who I think it is.
It is! It is definitely who you think it is! Oh no!
It's the professor from Cyborg 009.
What the hell are you talking about? No! It's not! I wish!
Thanks to a malfunctioning street lamp, the human could very well see the real form of this boy. And he jumped back in utter surprise. He was a strange, small, alien creature with a slim body and a round head. His skin was light grey, his face was nose-less, and he had green, bushy hair. He wore a black vest with a blacker cloak. Can we get even more blacker here?
It's a ebony black cloak! How about that?
Or obsidian.
We are
Obsidian black!
And he had a huge, gloved three-fingered hands.
Oh yes, that.
All in all, he came out from an RPG game or something.
Okay, two things. Seemed came out, that's no good. Also, saying RPG game is redundant because the G in RPG already means game.
Yes.
I just wanted to pop out real quick, say that, and then leave again.
The humans seemed taken aback.
On the side yet seen!
He was used to the several anthros that lived around. He even personally knew one.
I am not racist, I have an antro friend. You know how does that sound, right?
Yes, it never comes out sounding right, even if it's true. But this being was similar to nothing he's ever seen in all of his life. One thing was certain, though. The boy was severely wounded with some internal damage. Luckily for the Cedrian, this person used to be a well-known scientist and an awarded professor in the local university.
That means he's automatically qualified to treat wounds.
Which happened to be the best in the world!
Well, Mr. Well-known Scientist, do you happen to be a medical scientist? Because otherwise, you're not really qualified to treat wounds?
He's a generic scientist. That means he knows everything.
Oh, sure.
And his name is Miles Warren.
Among all, he happened to be one of the few non-xenophobe humans around. Amazing, isn't it?
Well, if it isn't luck!
I really, really detest when authors decide to, bring to attention these things.
Usually you would let certain details about characters come out organically as the story progresses. You don't put them in front of the reader just like that, calling attention to them as if to say, look at this person, he's totally not a racist, just trust me. That's normal. That's a normal thing to say, right?
We have such sights to show you. Okay, so we have a break in paragraph, so I sit down.
Life was not easy for people like him, mainly because his kind was not large enough to be considered a real population, and also because the fact that despite being one of this world's heroes and being loved by most of the humans, there still was so much hidden racism.
Hidden? What do you mean hidden? What are you talking about, hidden racism? Are you mad? The racism is subtextual? You need to read it between the lines to find the racism? Are you drunk?
Followed by in brackets, or should I say, speciesism.
Oh, sod off. Sod off.
Therefore, life was not at all easy for people like him, for the so-called anthro.
Yes, what with all the hidden racism.
Especially since he happened to be different, even for his own kind.
Hey guys, remember that one Sonic game that covered hidden racism?
Yes, and also remember that one human character was totally non-xenophobic?
No, I don't remember any.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure that one human character was a credit to his race. He was a two-tailed anthropomorphic fox. Where I've heard of this one before. A very young and intelligent one, too.
Oh gosh, this again! Yes! He's so smart, you guys! He's the vessel of intelligence and whatnot. He's so intelligent! Do you believe me yet? Do you believe me yet? So I was strangling the microphone.
I mean, he has to be. The fic keeps telling us that he is.
Exactly! Oh, and it doesn't stop. It never stops.
He happened to be a mechanical genius and an excellent pilot.
Oh!
Own plane, in brackets, a gift from his best friend, end brackets. And he could use his own tails to fly if he wanted.
How many thousands of times have we heard the same 4 adjectives being used to describe him? Excellent pilot, mechanical genius, is very young and intelligent, you know.
And he can fly with his own tails.
Yes, he can fly with his own tails. Did you know that? Did you know that he can fly with his own tails? Yeah, I didn't know it. Thankfully, I was told I would have not known otherwise. Okay.
Did you also know that he planted her seed?
To the ground, yes.
There was an old motto that went this way. Sky's the limit. For miles, tails, per hour, the sky was unlimited.
Well, except it is, because if you fly after a certain point, you might freeze to death.
Or suffocate.
Whichever comes first, really. The important point is that he would die.
Yeah. Also, I can't believe you're doing this. You basically, put Void into the actual Sonic canon?
I mean, he was in a game in the Sonic franchise. So,
yeah.
technically canon in the sense that it appeared in a game. All I did really was to spread awareness about his existence. A good fun, I was, I guess.
So you are very proud of yourself. Good for you.
Let's
It
carry
was
on.
his world, and it didn't have secrets.
In this world, his world!
The land, on the other hand, was the real problem. It didn't have enough seed.
Yes, we need to plant more seeds into the land. Oh, Valley of Plenty. Oh, Valley of Plenty. We need to plant many, many seeds after the flower genocide that occurred millennia ago. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. Growing up as a unique kid in a hostile world like this was not easy. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have survived any longer.
Capital H him, so it's the Powerpuff Girls villain. Hello, girls. I am literally the devil.
Have you seen my fishnet stockings?
Let's carry on.
His real life began after he met his best friend, Hero, and adopted Big Brother.
Wait, who adopted whom?
The little one adopted the bigger one?
The unique speedy blue hedgehog known as Sonic.
Sonic. He really blows. Sonic. He's got an attitude. Sonic is a Mobian supremacist.
They used to have so many adventures together. They saved the world uncounted times against the same evil jerk, Dr. Eggman.
Wait, no, I'm confused. You only did that once? Unless you've had several more battles against him that I am not aware that you did? Within this canon, I mean. Within my own canon, that is. I'm talking about my own canon here.
But is this your canon tales?
I said at the beginning that this was a sequel / spin-off.
Let's
So-
continue, guys. We'll find out soon
I mean,
enough.
we're wasting too much time on this. Come on.
is your Tale Saga in a nutshell.
Oh, Valley of Plenty.
Get over that valley, Madhog.
No.
Until Tails got sick of the hero's sidekick role and left Sonic by his own.
Wait, hold on. This is not my canon. This is not my canon. You lied to me. What's happening here? This is not my canon.
The young Valpine had different ambitions. He was a boy genius. Oh my, really? And therefore,
He was Dexter.
he wanted to become a recognized scientist and help the world in his own way, ellipses. But of course, when you are not a human, it's kind of difficult to be accepted as a person too. So, why couldn't you go to a university or something and become a scientist in the Mobius?
Well, you see, due to human colonialism, pretty much assimilating alien cultures into its own and dominating them, this caused a lot of gentrification in the process, and less privileged parts of the land ended up becoming ghettos for the quote-unquote inferior races, and it's a dump on fiction, don't read too much into it. It's a dump on fiction, just who cares?
Okay, guys, let's stay on track because we're really wasting a lot of time.
And so, he had some rather difficulties in finding a proper school education or a job, even though his abilities were often recognized.
As in, oh look, that kid has abilities. I recognize that. I casually found him with those abilities. Oh yes.
Humanity always had a problem with coherence.
Oh,
What?
preach it to the choir, sister.
What?
Okay.
We are the most incoherent and inconsistent people that we know, with our ideals and our political agendas and our intentions versus the execution of said intentions. Right?
I would
Right?
say
Yes, right. I'm right. So continue.
disharmony, but
That's when the least expected person came in his aid, ellipses.
Oh no.
His name was Pickle. And
Yep.
he loved pickle sandwiches.
because savages.
Sonic Unleashed was out by this point, and I have played it.
I have many questions, but I do not care about the answers. His quoted
The answer is
presentation-
42.
No, it's 63.
No, it's 69. Nice.
No, it's 34.
No, it's I'm going to punch you in the nose. Continue.
He was the regent rector.
The Regent Rector? What the frig?
Of the most famous university in the world. Ellipses. The University of Spagonia!
The University of Spagonia, guys!
In the centre of Europe.
It's center. It's how you pronounce center in Queen's English, by the way. Spagonia, in the center of Europe, my favorite city.
That speaks Queen's English.
Oh my godless.
There is no God, only Definitelli.
No, there is not even Definitelli. There is just nothingness.
AKA a void.
Oh, that's clever. Okay, please continue, damn you!
He said he admired the Fox's works and researchers over chaos energy. In brackets, being in almost constant contact with the Chaos Emeralds helped him a lot, end brackets. And that he wanted Tails, an 8-year-old kid, to work for his institution.
Ah, child labor! Good old Queen's England, I guess.
Don't worry, there are no laws against it in Queen's England, so it's A-OK.
There should be some law against Ricky Gervais. Well,
Heyo! Of course, he accepted the offer, although he politely refused to eat pickle sandwiches. and he officially became a researcher with a specialization in chaos energy.
Why does this seem like the origin story of Bruce Banner?
The fuel of the future.
So, are we seeing the birth of Shinra in the Sonic universe?
Ooh, I like where that is going.
That is a good one. I would have personally gone with UAC from Doom.
That's also a good one. If only because the idea of Doom Guy just coming into this fanfiction and the Doom slaying everybody is very appealing to me right now for some reason.
Keep that thought in mind. It will help you survive this. That brings us to the current matter. Ellipses. Why life still happened to be so difficult for him.
I'm sorry, what does any of this have to do with Bring Me to Life by Evanescence? That's my question right now.
To be honest, I just kind of blanked at all of us.
Da 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 da.
Please get on with it.
It is very difficult to do your job when almost each and every one of your colleagues would love to sell you to a British hunting club. Okay, that's funny.
Okay. I'm not sure that was meant to be funny, but if it was, then kudos, it's hysterical. The British Hunting Club. I say, George, today I'm in the mood to hunting the rare two-tailed fox. Yes, which is also blue during the blue moons. Did you know that, George? Well, I didn't know that, Sir William Genocidal III. I would love to kill some more animals with my blunderbuss. Yes, indeed. We are so rich and racist.
I'll call it a boomstick. Also, I'm thankful that fox hunting has been outlawed in Britain.
Oh, I'm thankful too. Nobody told these guys, apparently. Let's sell this fox to a British hunting club.
I mean, considering that they speak Queen's English, I guess the country of Spagonia.
Spagonia, yes, that's actually a good point. In the center of Europe, by the way. It's in the center of Europe, not on the side, an island with ocean around it. No, it's in the center of Europe.
I guess in this universe, the Sonic version of the world, the center of Europe was colonialized by the British Empire.
I mean, what wasn't colonialized by the British Empire at some point?
Finland.
It was a rhetorical question, you know.
Despite having befriended with some of the youngest assistants and students, most of the other professors and researchers openly despised the fact that an 8-year-old kid, followed by in brackets, the freak of nature among that end brackets,
You don't-
at their own level.
You don't actually need to let us know when the brackets are coming. You just need to imply that there are brackets by the way you read.
The brackets are coming! The brackets
Oh
are
no!
coming!
Oh no, the brackets are coming! Sound the alarm!
I did that actual British joke during our previous table topping session.
The brackets are coming!
Mobbing was the key word. Tails sighed while giving the last touches to the new chaos-driven engine of his prized red biplane, the X-Tornado.
By the way, do you know what mobbing is? The practice of mobbing, which was actually a big problem by the time, in my country, it was a big problem, that is, by the time this was written, is this very toxic practice in which your colleagues and other colleagues and possibly even your employers might make your working environment as nasty as possible in order to push you to quit your job because they don't like you. That's fun, isn't it? And that's what's happening to this 8-year-old kid, a freak of nature among that. Well, if it isn't luck, really.
I mean, Void is the one who got the luck, and immediately after that he got hit by a car. So, setting example, scientifically speaking, the sole idea of raw, untainted, untouchable, chaotic energy spread all over the universe was considered impossible. Religiously speaking, the idea of chaos being the thing we all came from was, of course, blasphemous. As a matter of fact, no one could tell the hows or whens of this phenomenon, or why there were those chaos emeralds anyway, or how could anyone, specifically Sonic, Tails, and a few other people, summon such energy from them in the first place.
A friendly reminder that this is not my canon anymore, for some reason.
Anymore. A few questions that, perhaps, will never find an answer. It just happened.
Ah, those 3 words that still haunt my dreams. It just happened. Oh well. Who needs to put effort, or lot of efforts, if you will, into anything? It just happened.
Hey, it just works. Nonetheless,
If it isn't luck.
the revolutionary idea of chaos-driven engines Tails was working on would have certainly bothered some people. Some powerful, influential, oil-owning people.
Oh, those nasty oil-owning people, which are a real threat to our very existence, by the way. But yes, oil-owning people sounds really funny.
I'm not sure. I think this is being too subtle.
Subtle, yes! I mean, listen, I know people who use subtext, and those people are cowards.
And let's not forget, and the corrupted politicians who worked for them.
I was very #woke at the time, and even though I am 100% right about it, I still sound like I am #woking all over this fanfiction, aren't I?
Maybe a tad.
I am planting my seeds of #wokeness into the Valley of Plenty.
I think we should continue because it's been a slog this part.
Yes.
That's why the young fox developed some paranoia lately. He feared that he would be killed by them because of it, and that's why he still used to live in his old, secluded workshop. Ironically enough, he had a life insurance, and its name was, ellipses, Eggman.
What is happening right now?
Since he was world's #1 enemy, and the Valpine was one of the few heroes who could oppose his would-be tyranny, he was saved from anyone's conspiracy. Yet, he was under a lot of stress. Therefore, when his phone rang, he couldn't help but jump in fright.
This is a lot more political talk than I would have wanted in this fanfiction, I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think this is unnecessary.
I mean, I like the concept, the premise, the idea that the hero of this world has a lot of enemies that would like to have him out of the picture because he goes against their business practices for all they stand for. That's some late-stage capitalistic nightmare, let me tell you.
Now, if only someone would write a good fic about that.
Devour your tales.
Okay. Hello? Professor Pickle. Yes? Uh-huh. What? Really? An alien? Cool! Uh-huh. Is he alive? I see. Yes. No. No thanks. I've already eaten. No, it's not that. I don't like pickle sandwiches. Okay, I'll be right there. No problem. Yes, me too. Bye, Professor.
Yes? Yes? No, really? Well, same thing to you, Jack. Hey, Max, it was the commissioner. We have a case.
He hanged up, and without missing a beat, he went inside his plane's cockpit, turned it on. Too easy. And flew away from the hangar of his famous workshop in the mystic ruins.
Which he forgot to lock the door of as he left.
Next stop, Spagonia! A 10-minute trip for his prized tornado.
Violating several international laws about flight in the process.
Chaos energy rocks.
He muttered to himself.
I love chaos energy. It's so bad.
I love chaos energy rocks. They pop in my mouth.
Oh my. Okay, I'm going to try and speed this blasted thing on. Gotta read fast. In the local hospital, bewilderment was the key word. For all its doctors and nurses just had to deal with the weirdest patient yet. What was really weird is that he was not insured. They managed to save his life, though. It turned out that his wounds weren't as severe as previously thought. The little guy had an amazing resilience, that was sure. The same resilience that Anthros used to have. In the waiting room, a certain old man was patiently waiting for some hopefully good news, while eating one of his trademark namesake sandwiches. I'll give you a knuckle sandwich, jeez.
The pickle sandwiches are on the house. That's the good news he's waiting for.
Mr. Pickle? A nurse asked. Who wants to be Professor Pickle? You know how I would have him sound.
What?
You will find Dr. Huawei.
Professor Pickle, please.
He corrected while politely rising from his seat. Come on, Wagga Man, we must find Dr. Huawei.
Come on, Mega Man. We need to find Dr. Huawei.
Dr. Huawei. He's fine, she replied, hinting some obvious difficulties in using the male pronoun. Lady, get on with the times, don't be a transphobic jerk. No, seriously, I'm not even joking about that. Stop it. Humanity, stop it. Gosh darn it, it's so unbecoming. You used to be such a nice girl, humanity. I took you to prom, and then you turned sour over a few rejections, and you accepted bribes from the far-right organizations, and just like that, you started to be transphobic. Humanity! You can do better than that. Hopefully. Okay, that was a bit of a tirade anyway. The old man nodded and smiled.
Oh, wonderful. Indeed. I would like to personally thank you and all this hospital staff for a job well done.
Everybody got around. He thanks everybody one by one. He has a camera crew. Yes, I should like to congratulate this hospital crew for saving a patient and doing their jobs.
Don't worry, I'll do the opposite of the Scrubs joke.
Which one?
The white guy basically shakes hands normally with all the white doctors, but as soon as he gets to Turk, who is a black doctor, he goes like, "Yo, me dog!"
Oh no! Oh no!
That was awful.
Yes. Okay. I think that was the point.
Anyway, yes, it was. Would you like a fine, delicious pickle sandwich?
Okay. Honestly, are the pickle sandwiches a euphemism? Is the pickle sandwich a euphemism? I have to ask.
I mean, this was written by the old horny Madhog, so...
Yes, into the Valley of Pickles. Oh, Valley of Pickles.
Throw a pickle to your profession.
Oh, Valley of Penis. Kindly offered.
Oh, Valley of Sandwich. Oh, Valley of Sandwich.
Sandwich. He kindly
Oh.
offered his pickle. Thanks, I've already eaten.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, both of you.
Yes, more pickles for me. He added while giving another bite at his most beloved meal. You are focusing a bit too much on this insignificant detail. I'm starting to worry. I'm really starting to
I
worry.
think the thing we should be worrying about that he was offering his half-eaten pickle sandwich to the nurse.
Delicious pickle sandwich. Grilled cheese pickle sandwich.
That would be me, really, the grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese sandwich, if you please.
Yeah, I love that sandwich.
Became a pickle sandwich.
Yes.
Okay, let's
The
tell you.
nurse was serious again. Would you like to see him? She asked, still shy about considering the creature. He. Humanity, what did I just tell you?
Oh, the humanity.
Seriously, Nurse Humanity is such a bad nurse.
Yes, quite.
Nurse Humanity, that's her name now. I don't know. How did we end up here?
Oh, yes, quite.
Pico enthusiastically answered. Oh yes, quite, Mega Man. This way, please. And then, the brackets are coming, yes. Okay, this part is in bold and italic, which means it's the narrator being the narrator.
Which is Madhog.
You shall suffer, young plant boy, because it's the only way to really feel alive. Pain comes before everything. Oh my gosh, this really is the voice of Arlan Ellison. It makes things more appreciable. Let the torment begin.
Tell me, Void, would you like to play a game?
Not really. Oh my god, he's having a heart attack! The doctor yelled. Somebody call a doctor! Oh wait!
Send him on in this hospital a doctor!
Damn it! Damn it, this is not a human, I'm a human doctor, not a Pokemon doctor.
God damn it, Professor, I am a doctor, not a botanist!
That's a good point.
You see all the doctors wearing stethoscopes and they're like, I'm not a fully licensed doctor.
Should I call a doctor, a veterinarian, or a botanist? And in the unrestful bed of his possible death, the unfortunate interdimensional creature known as Void was now experiencing true pain. One name crossed his hallucinating mind in that moment. The name of his princess, Blaze. Before the darkness came for his soul, and he saw memories. Wake me up! Wake me up inside! I can't wake up! Wake me up inside! Save me! Call my name and save me from the dark, etc.
Etc., etc., etc.
Right,
And
so
now we end the first chapter of sorrow.
So these chapters, as I said, are really brief. We just need not to waste so much time with each and every comma, if possible.
Because
Yeah,
we
I was
try
gonna
to
say.
entertain ourselves because this fig isn't doing that.
I mean, yes, this first part is not very eventful and not very funny
To be
at
honest,
times.
There was one funny joke.
the fox hunting club. I mean, there was one important part we got to know.
Which is?
Professor Pickle sandwiches.
Oh, yes, the
I mean,
pickle sandwiches.
I'm
They
glad
are
we-
so important to this story. Let me tell you how important the pickle sandwiches are to this story. They are the real villain, did you know that? The real villain is an anthropomorphic pickle that was brought to life by evil science and chaos do bad things.
wait,
Okay.
Professor
Is-
Pickle is the right hand man.
No, you know what this is?
What?
This is Professor Pickle starring in Re-Animator.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, so we're on to our second chapter of sorrow.
Oh boy.
He was dying. D-I-E-ing.
Okay, this never gets old. Does it?
I mean, Madhog, you did ask for more black.
His heart was ceasing his beat.
A boom, ba-ding, boom, ba-doom, beep, ba boom, ba-ding, boom, ba-doom, beep.
Beep, beep went the machine. They were trying to save him. The doctors and the nurses did their best. Beep, beep, beep,
We're losing him! Where is a doctor when you need him?
yelled one of them.
God damn it, mister, I am a botanist, not a doctor!
Okay, somebody call Dr. Nick Riviera.
Beep, beep, beep. From afar, Professor Pickle could see the whole scene, including the sudden fountain of green blood that came out from the Cedrian's mouth.
But was he eating potato chips in the flavor of pickle? That's the important question.
I know! Because he's a plant, he'll be saved by the pickles!
That was bad and you should feel bad.
Now this is a fine pickle we have found ourselves in.
Oh my gosh!
He felt shocked, and overall, utter guilty.
Utter guilty!
Not utter guilt, utter guilty. Beep.
We've lost him.
And then
The two doctors said in unison.
but they wanted to fight over who was going
No,
to
no,
heal him.
no. He's my patient. I have his number. No. That's a bureaucratic mistake. This was my patient. I'll kill you. I'll kill your next patient just to get back at you. Just shut up. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'll kill you right now. This is still my job. And who are you? Who are you? And who the hell are you? There's a third doctor in this room. Get away. This is my operation. And then it's dead. Anyway, so...
Okay, we lost him.
Wait. We lost him. But this was your patient, right? Not mine. It was yours. It was your patient. Go. I'm gone. I was never here. I'm vacationing in Greenwich. See you later.
No, I was never here because I was jumping out the window.
I did not even get up this morning!
Well, I guess Professor Pickle was the appointed doctor. because
remember, he could do anything.
Yes, he's a scientist from the greatest university in the world. So it means that he's qualified for surgery.
I liked how you basically wrote, he was qualified to do this, but took him to another doctor anyway.
So how many doctors? What's the doctor's count right now? I'm lost.
And suddenly Dr. Popeye walks in.
I'm gonna take my spinach and cut this guy out.
Yeah, he just takes his spinach and just puts his fist into him.
And from the other door walks in Dr. House. It is not a lupus.
Stop that. That's not how you're supposed to heal him.
Okay.
Anyway,
so as much as I'm enjoying this very nasty, chaotic episode of ER, I guess. The porn parody, at least. Oh my gosh. Nah, too easy that way. Let's start phase 2. Retaliation! This really sounds like an evil scheme, isn't it?
It does,
Retaliation against what? Death?
I have no idea. The readers, the doctors, the medical industry?
Luck?
Fate? Chaos?
A valley of plenty? I don't know.
Capitalism?
Sure.
I guess I'll continue then.
Please do. So what happened after the 4 or 5 doctors just ran for the stairs and the windows and the planes and whatever else? And the heels?
Void awoke! Thank you, Dr. Popeye. He's awake now. A sudden, unpredictable awakening.
There has been an awakening.
More like an awakening.
More like an hashtag woking all over the Valley of Plenty.
He grabbed one of the surprised nurses by the neck. A snap could be heard.
Oh wow! Oh jeez! Oh wow! Okay!
That got dark quickly.
That was a D&D campaign that we didn't have.
Wow! This is escalating in such a way. You know what? I'm glad I have completely forgotten about this because this is new to me, essentially.
You do realize in this day and age, people will be hoping that the nurse who was not comfortable with the pronouns part will probably get killed, right?
I guess that makes it okay. Or at the very least, it makes it cathartic. But yes, you know what? It was Nurse Humanity who died.
He was panicking. He was scared. He was short-breathed. And he was surrounded by strangers who looked utter terrified at him.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there were no doctors left.
Why did they
Apparently.
seem so frightened? He asked to himself. Then he saw it. The dead body. He was holding it.
Oops!
Look away from it. No, back to the dead body. Now back to the you. Back to me. Back to them. Back to the dead body. Now back to it. Look, it's a dead body in your hand. Look, the dead body's now diamonds.
Okay.
Get out of there, Devar. This is not your self-insert. You don't want to be part of this fixed story.
And he was holding it with his huge three-fingered clawed hand.
Do you think that might be cause of concern and awkwardness? Oops.
Before he could do or think anything, everybody began screaming like possessed while already running around like crazy cows.
Crazy cows? Okay. Crazy cows, you say?
He was frozen on his spot, still in bed, staring at the young girl he just murdered.
She was such a young bovine.
When you live all your life as a warrior, little things like conservative instincts tend to become stronger than normal.
I clearly meant to say conservational instincts. You know what? I like this. The more you become powerful and strong, the more you become conservative and vote for the Republican and the Tories, I guess.
He was an alien creature in an alien world with a bunch of frightened, therefore dangerous, humans around him. And worst of all, he didn't remember his own name or past.
First of all, boo to that trope. Second of all, he was an alien in an alien world. You could say he was a stranger in a strange land.
Except for an image.
Nothing? Okay.
The everlasting image of a lavender cat girl. The only thing that he had left in his memory. And he needed to find her again. He descended from his bed, I imagine.
It was a very, very tall bed, clearly.
Probably was for him.
He was wearing nothing more than the usual hospital gown, which, being designed for the overlanders, was too big for him.
Didn't they have a child's gown?
You would think so.
Clearly, this is the best hospital in the world, in the greatest city of Europe, Spagonia, so they have only the best equipment and the best, most competent doctors. Obviously.
After a little time, he realized someone was still gazing at him. He slowly turned his rotund head to fix his own gaze at the stranger. Pickle stood still in his place. He has remained in the room for all this time.
Why was he in the room during surgery?
9 out of 10. Could be better.
I could have done a better job.
Would recommend anyway. Now I must go find Dr. Wowie.
I think more gruesome murders. When you live all your life as a... Oh, wait. I went back in time. Sorry.
A few lines back, yes.
Yeah. He had remained all the time, not daring to move a single muscle. Probably because of fear or shock. Or just because he's seen it before. His huge eyebrows seemed so thin now that his eyes were so widened.
I kind of like that last sentence. It needs work, but I like the idea of it.
Speaking of eyes, for the first time, the old professor could very well see his former victims' ones. What?
Oh, because you see, he hit him with his car, so he was his victim. But I understand your confusion.
The boy's eyes were deep black and empty. Just like...
Avoid.
Avoid?
Avoid? Avoid at all costs!
Well,
They both-
Professor Pickle didn't, and look where we are now with a dead body at our hands.
Yes, you need to avoid him, not go through him.
They both stared at each other for quite a time, until the hospital security broke in.
Hospital security, we're breaking in! Crash!
Freeze!
They had a giant log, they busted down the door, medieval style.
Yelled the guard while pointing his gun towards the small being in front of him. Void hissed at the man. The feral animal he became.
Animal I have become!
And make believe.
All right, people, vote. Will the void be shot, or will the poor guard become his dinner? Vote in the poll.
Okay, pick your poison. Animal I have become, or feel like a monster. This thing inside of me. Na 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 na. I must confess that I feel like a monster.
I like that song.
Yes, I like that song.
I mean, it's incredibly cheesy and corny, but then again, it's a product of its times. It has its charm.
a make believe. It's not the real me.
It's like you feel like a monster.
Okay, anyway, the aforementioned policeman was a notorious was a
What?
notorious racist with a peculiar hate against non-human beings.
Okay, first of all, is everybody a racist? I understand that racism is common, pretty much ingrained in society, so you don't really need to hammer down that a policeman might be racist because we all assume they are at this point. Also, yes, American police is fascist.
But we are not in America, we are in Spagonia, the greatest country in all of Europe, in the center of Europe.
Even if that were to be true, which it isn't, their stock as a country has significantly lessened after Spagexit. About.
You know, I really like this concept of straw manning humanity in general.
It is so satisfying to read and to write about, isn't it?
Creates misconceptions rather than the truth.
I mean, a lot of people are racist.
I've seen the opposite. I've seen way more people more accepting than racists.
Then again, you've seen them from the height of your white man privilege. You can't really experience other people's experiences in that regard.
I can say that, but I interact with a lot of people.
I've been thinking maybe we shouldn't have this
Let's not have this
conversation right now
no.
as we are reading a Sonic fanfiction, you know?
Yes,
We
I
should
know,
save it for another time.
Plus, he just had a very bad day.
Oh, yes.
Since he couldn't take his priced cup of coffee due to the blasted, malfunctioning coffee machine.
Coffee causes racism. So stop drinking coffee.
No.
Rude English grey Earl tea.
The opposite, he didn't take his coffee, so that made him racist.
Okay,
Listen,
let's
at the end of the day, the guy really needed his Nespresso.
These and a few other theories involving the whole argument of chaos and its endless possibilities
Sonic Unleashed.
were the main reason of why he did what he did. And instead of trying a perfectly logical and rational approach in order to calm down the obviously panicked little boy,
Yes, the panicked little boy who snapped a nurse's neck just like that.
And he's
Yes.
acting like a completely feral and bloodthirsty animal.
he just shot him. You know, hitting the wrong target too.
Wait, what? Oh my god! What is this, a comedy of errors? Is this a Guy Ritchie flick? What is happening?
I think this is less an in-depth look into society's tribalism and more like parodying what the misconception is.
This feels like a Guy Ritchie film at this point. It's so full of errors. So many.
Chaos is indeed something that we would never understand. The reason of why certain people is pushed to do certain things in certain times probably remain a mystery for ages and ages. Then again, as Fang the Sniper has taught us,
Oh.
No,
The best-
no.
the best explanations are the simplest. As in, the narrator's lying to us, and it's just the natural, logical explanations and not the thing that you're telling us, author.
Because author said so. The end.
Perhaps, just perhaps, this was one of those cases.
Fang the Wise.
An unnerved copper with an easy trigger. A frightened, seemingly feral kid lost in a new and foreign world who just survived a bloody death. And an old professor who happened to love kids.
All that talk about pickle sandwiches and offering it to people suddenly has a much darker undertone.
Never had one of his own, and deep down felt very bad for this one.
Okay, so wait, hold on. Stop the train. Stop the press. Stop the cars. Create some traffic here.
Abandon the quest.
Abandon ship. Raise the bridge. What is this? Let me just collect my thoughts for a second. So, in this order, the professor hit the monster child with his car, took him to the hospital, where 3, 4, 5 cow doctors and whatnot tried to operate him. He almost died, but now he's up and about, even though he's not even stitched up yet. So he's bleeding all over the place. Then the cop comes in, shoots the wrong target because he's an idiot, with the aim of a stormtrooper. And the kid is acting like a feral animal, and during all this, the professor is just looking at all this and saying, yep, I want to adopt this one. That makes sense! Yeah!
The pickle just watched the same kid that he wants to adopt murder innocent nurse in cold blood.
He's adopted a fox, might as well adopt a murderer. What's even all this?
It just had to happen. Somehow and some way.
Over the rainbow.
The bullet was shot in the exact same moment in which the old pickle's lover,
Wait.
What?
in the unlucky attempt to resolve the gruesome situation, put himself between the guard and the black-eyed kid.
Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? What is this, the bodyguard? Just Kevin Costner.
Don't worry, Madhog. Despite what the media would try to tell you, human body isn't durable enough to work as a human shield against modern-day firearms, so the bullet is still going to go through him and hit the void.
This is still pretty dumb.
The utterly shocked Cedrian's gown was covered with blood. Not his own green blood, but a new, fresh, red one. The old human was on the ground, with a hole on his left hip. The unnerved copper was eyes widen.
Damn it, I really needed that Nespresso today.
First the coffee machine and now this.
Oh,
Why is
good.
my day awful?
Isn't it just luck?
It was Void's time to attack. His now ungloved claw found its way inside the policeman, who just coughed out some vital fluid falling on the ground. Dead. He killed
Well-
again.
Does
Yeah.
2 counts of murder count as mass murder, or does it need more?
Murder is pre-planned.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right.
manslaughter, right?
This is manslaughter.
This is very much a slaughter, I have to say.
Too agitated for thinking straight, the young murderer decided to exit the building through the closest window. I don't know why I'm about to say closet window. Oh, that would be funny if it was closet. Aha! Now you won't get me, coppers, because I'm going through this closet!
Yes, nobody will get me out of the closet this time.
That sounds awful. The broken glass did manage to scratch his soft skin, while, amazingly enough, the 3 stories fall that came immediately after didn't even faze him. Now he knew he wasn't a common mortal being.
Void, buddy, do you think that reenacting the ending of Angels of Death was the most natural and organic way to find that out?
The terrifying darkness of the night reflected in his own emptiness.
Oh god.
And the merciless rain that followed could be easily accosted to his desperate need to fill this void he had of knowing his place, identity, past, united with this inevitable sorrow that was already embracing his own soul, devouring him from the inside.
Do you feel bad about him yet?
Sorry, I just vomited some black mascara.
Do you feel bad about him yet? Do you?
No.
You should be feeling bad about him. Can't you tell? He's really sad and emo and angsty and just feel bad for him already.
He ran with all his might.
With all his might!
While cars stopped in front of him, just in the nick of time.
These cars are actually stopping! Why didn't Professor Pickle's car stop then?
He ran.
To be fair, he was a black plant in the middle of a road, probably in a... Well, there were a lamppost, but he was wearing nothing but black, so that's really hard to see during night.
Either that or Professor Pickle needs a pair of glasses.
He ran with all his might, while sirens could be already heard. Here.
Yes, here, the sirens.
I got to say heard, but there was no D, so there was a sound. They were chasing him. He ran with all his might.
With all his might! Third time in a row. That's a new record.
This foreign madness. And hopefully towards the only one person that could possibly save him. The one who could bring him back to life.
Wake me up inside! And then he runs through the setting for the Evanescence music video.
His blazing love.
Boo! Boo!
So forced.
The blazing love. The blazing dragon's love.
You will not get that on a t-shirt, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, blazing love. He ran with all his might 3 times in a row. That's a new Academy record. Let me tell you. This is so bad, but you know, it's our kind of bad.
So horribly pretentious that I vomited black mascara.
1 second it's ER, the next second a murder is committed, then the racist cop comes in, and then it's a Guy Ritchie film, and then suddenly crawling in my skin, these wounds they will not heal. Everything happens with no sense of transitioning and no sense of tone whatsoever. The tone just randomly switches around.
Hand-fisted, but it's
within
more
the blink of an
slapping.
eye. Yes.
It's more smacking you with a baseball bat. With its
My
beams.
gosh.
Smacking
This
you with a piece
is
of ham.
forced, first of all. It's hammy. It's hammy as all get out. Let me tell you. Extreme amounts of ham. It's a valley of plenty ham, if you will. Let's continue.
When Tails first arrived in the hospital, he was
No,
treated with a different
no,
scenario.
no. I'm going to shut you down immediately if you use that voice.
Plebeian. When Tails first arrived in the hospital, he was greeted with a different scenario from the one he had imagined to find.
I mean, he expected Dr. Popeye welcoming him.
Makes sense that Popeye would become a doctor. He's an expert in plant matters.
Continue.
He was expecting to see an alien creature of some kind asleep in some hospital bed. He wasn't expecting to find such a mess. He wasn't expecting, still expecting, to find the building surrounded by cops and reporters. Most of all, he wasn't expecting to find his employer and a friend in a comatose state due to a bullet wound. I think this is overselling it a bit.
Well, in fairness, he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting the Spanish Inquisition.
Ah, no. Now that's forced.
You mean the Spagnolia Inquisition?
The Spagonia Inquisition! Nobody expects the Spagonian Inquisition.
Yeah, because they're too busy eating their pickle sandwiches.
Oh.
When he asked for more informations, all he received was a few incoherent, tearful evidences.
Uh-huh.
He took the tears as evidence. That's good to know.
Right.
And all of them had one reference in common. The black-eyed monster!
The black-eyed monster!
A black-eyed monster.
Would you love a black-eyed monster?
Who would ever love a black-eyed monster?
Mortals do make mistakes. It's just normal. It's just inevitable. No one is flawless. The simple idea is idiotic. Miles' Prower, despite being a genius, was no different.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
This goes completely against what you have been telling us about Miles' Prower for the 1, 2, 3 multiple fix.
At this point in time, you need to understand that humanity has a problem with coherence.
But he's not a human.
No, but I am human, so... it's
I thought you
coherent.
were the author.
Shh.
Let's just continue, guys.
Shh. Don't give it away.
He'd just seen his friend. No, one of the most important persons in his life.
Which he knew for how long again?
It isn't clear, considering they just keep telling us that he is 8 years old. In that condition, and he had someone to blame for it. In the kid's mind, this creature, who apparently came out of nowhere, was the responsible for what happened to him, and now it was free to hurt even more people. Sonic was on the other side of the planet, and Shadow has been unfindably lately.
Has been unfindable lately, which is still bad, but don't make it worse. Please don't make it worse.
My eyes are glazing over all these typos and grammar mistakes.
Yes, well, my eyes are melting, so...
It was all up to the Valpine to save the situation, this time. His big blue eyes were flaming with passionate hate, while his fists clenched tightly, almost bleeding. Determination became his second, or should I say third, name.
Ah, yes. Miles, Tails, Determination, Prower.
He would have destroyed this new menace or die trying. Revenge was almost an unknown feeling for the usually carefree Tails. Even when he got bullied and beaten up by the other kids in his early years, he never truly desired to hurt anybody. This time, however, it was deadly different. This time, it was personal. Because the one who's been hurt had a very special place in the kitsune's heart.
Yes, he wanted to plant his pickles all over the Valley of Plenty.
Yeah, Professor Pickle holds Tails and goes like, "Oh, Tails, they will never understand our relationship."
Which is fair, because I don't understand our relationship.
Professor Pickle has been the closest thing to a father he ever had.
Was it really that funny? Okay. I've broken the bar. Okay.
Devar, do you need a minute?
It's like as if Gandalf decided to come out with Frodo going like, "They'll never understand our love."
Dumbledore with Harry. They never understand our love, you motherfuckers.
Old man with a very small man.
Merlin with Arthur. They never understand our love, my boy.
No, never understand our love, my boy.
I don't understand our love, my boy, but here I am anyway. One more. Link, my boy.
What's for dinner? Link, they'll never understand what's on our dinner table.
My boy. Okay.
Professor Pickle has been the closest thing to a father he ever had. They made that kind of kinky role play.
I guess they'll never understand.
Oh, Daddy, take me now.
Oh, harder, Daddy. Son?
Please punish me, Daddy. I've been a bad boy.
Fox.
For the last time, Tails, it's forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Okay, enough. We're going to kill Devar at this rate. Let us not.
Don't worry, you are the author. You can just bring him back to life.
No! If you die in real life, you die in the story too. Wait. Something or the other.
He was the only person intelligent enough to comprehend his otherwise geeky talking, as Sonic would often put it.
Oh, screw you, Sonic.
You want to spread Sonic Seed 2 into the Valley of Plenty?
No, not really.
And he's been the one who practically granted the kid with a real scholastic background, not to mention his kindness and fatherly worries towards the kid's health when he would work too much on his projects.
It'd be nice to see this rather than be described it.
That's what I was going to say. This was definitely a personal business, and a certain someone would have paid for this.
We still don't know who's going to pay for this, but we'll find him.
Don't worry, we already scapegoated everyone in this place.
Ah, scapegoat. Nobody will ever understand our love.
How is he going to pay for this since he doesn't have an insurance?
Well, isn't it luck?
I mean, they are in Europe, so...
Yes.
With the familiar confidence of a man on a mission, Tails left the hospital and retrieved his prized tornado, which it has been parked outside.
Of course.
Of course.
Naturally.
Oh, ex-tornado, nobody will ever understand our love. Oh, cockpit of the ex-tornado, let me be into you.
I mean,
Yes.
Tails is often in it.
Oh, Tails, they will never understand our love.
I don't understand our love.
And you're the smart one.
Or so they say.
How you make my engine spin on extra.
Okay,
I love how you get me to gear 12.
now let's go full gear on this one.
Just lift me up when you handle my valves and
Oh.
levers.
When you're inside me, I feel fully loaded.
Oh, don't worry, babe. We're going Mach 5.
Where we're going next, we don't need
Protection.
protection. Okay, yes, that one. Sure. Go on, please. Please, I'm begging you.
And they had tiny biplanes.
This is just... What is happening to us?
Wouldn't they be triplanes? They would have to grow to be biplanes.
I hate and love everything about this. Guys, nobody will ever understand our relationship.
No one will ever understand our humor.
Yes, we don't understand our humor, so...
It's a continuous system of giving and taking and spreading.
and especially taking.
Oh, guys, please help us.
Once in its cockpit, the two-tailed pilot activated his own portable computer device.
Oh yes. Give me more of that.
A thing he liked to call the Miles Electric.
The what? What in the name of the 12 gods is this supposed to be?
The Miles Electric.
What is the context for this? I must have been thinking about something specifically. What is this bloody contraption?
Wasn't this from the Sonic X series? I'm trying to remember because I could have sworn there was a thing called the Miles Electric.
This is too specific not to be.
Okay, back to our unfunny thing.
This peculiar little jewel of technology was linked with all the satellites around the globe. Therefore, it definitely came in handy when he had to find someone. For obvious reasons, GUN didn't know about it.
Why would they need to know about such things?
Yes, well...
It's not like they're going to find out.
Of course not. Miles is a genius.
He can hide a satellite from the world's government or whatever GUN is supposed to be.
Or the fact that he has hacked every satellite known to man.
Oh yes, that too. They'll never find that out. Up until he helps determining the results of the elections, that is.
Okay,
It
let's
didn't
continue.
take very long for the machine to individuate. Is that a real word?
Yes, it is.
Its target.
Score!
The Fox
Yeah, Tails. Say score while you're in your cockpit.
Dude, we're gonna score.
He finally made it to the third base. The fox muttered to himself right before activating the battle mode of his plane. Transformers! More than meets the eye!
Tails! Tails, it is I, your first lover, Optimus Prime.
Inexplicable zip sounds for no reason.
He smirked in a very Sonic way. Meow!
What? No.
Then he was gone. And by the way, it was still raining hard.
Thank you for that poetic imagery, that last minute poetic imagery. That's very cherry on top of you.
Thanks, narrator. That was totally worth having.
He's singing in the rain.
Let's
He's
continue.
singing-
How ironic things can be, isn't it? Isn't it luck? The Tales from Void's dimension used to be the plant boy's father. The Tales from this dimension wants to kill him for a crime he didn't voluntarily cause. And what's even more marvelous, I'm obviously explaining what the plot is, because in the off chance you might not understood what actually is going on here. Fair enough, I guess. The Cedrian doesn't remember anything except the face of his beloved one, who's still frozen somewhere in another universe. So that makes it about three different universes. Okay. Bringing sorrow to others. It is so amusing. Laugh with me. Ah!
No.
Nah, not me.
Okay. Wake me up! Wake me up inside! These lyrics at the end of every chapter. Hooray. Okay, we have a final chapter, and then we're done.
Our last and third sorrow of chapters.
Oh, ballet of chapters.
I hope I can make it through this because I don't know what got over me with the whole, the whole understand our love scene.
And the rain went on and on and on.
Oh, you rain me, baby, right round, like a record, baby, round, 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 round.
That's wrong in so many ways. Anyway, he hid himself above a rather tall building. Like Batman, how did he manage to come to it was a mystery even for him. was
Nobody
cold.
asked.
He didn't know what his relationship with the tall building was, clearly. It was a mystery even for him.
Well, that depends. Was this written by Frank Miller?
He was cold, frightened and alone. He shivered. He felt he was dying.
And there was an ass just there.
Ow.
Just there. A big ass.
Okay, so he shivered. He felt like he was dying. He hugged his own knees while the powerful rain was mauling his weak body. Fun fact! I used to like Frank Miller at the time.
I mean, not everything he has done has been bad.
Most of it is bad, though. Even the things that were considered good, if you take a second cursory look at them after revisiting what he has written. Yes, most of Sin City is bad. It's his most popular body of work by virtue that it had 2 film adaptations.
Yes.
And it has problems. Anyway, he hugged his own knees while the powerful rain was mauling his weak body. I am Knuckles, the mauler of bodies. I am Rain, and I'm mauling you.
Yes, that weak body that survived a 3-story fall without any kind of problem.
Yes, and let us not forget he's fresh out of surgery. Remember that fountain of green blood?
Yes, and there was more than just his weak body, you know.
Yes, he has a weaker soul too. Whatever, I don't care. He was a murderer. He took those lives. Why was he that way? Why was he different from the others? Who or what was he? Sad boy. Ah, the tragedy of amnesiac people, the desperate need of a place where to belong, a goal in life. He had a hope, although feeble, but he didn't even know how or where to begin with. He cried softly, and his tears spread themselves into the rain, and then all across the land and the valley of plenty and planted, etc., etc. How many times have we done this joke?
1,000 times.
Joke as old as time.
Joke as old as time. Joke as old as rhyme. Beauty
Then-
and a cloud.
The author and the fig.
And Dr. Wowie. Then it happened. The ominous blow in the chest. Wait, if the blow is happening now, it's not ominous, it's happening now!
Oh no, that's his heart that just suddenly started beating.
Okay, he literally received a blow to the chest. By the way, this is becoming the Snyder cut of this fanfiction now.
Let's carry on, please.
And he almost fell from the palace. The palace.
Alice.
The palace, yes. Release the Snyder cut, damn you! He grabbed his upper body in pain. He spat some of his green blood. Then he fixed his gaze over his assaulter. It was a humongous battle mech that vaguely resembled an airplane. On its cockpit, there was a little kid, an angry-looking two-tailed fox.
Tails, you just punched him with a giant mech?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Well, good thing that his body wasn't weak.
Even though it was weak.
Yes, and the rain was mauling his weak body. I guess it was all a metaphor. Void's empty orbits widen in amazement. He knew this little guy. He couldn't quite remember it, but somehow he knew it. It's an it, apparently. The furious kid spoke.
You almost killed my friend! You pay for this!
In cash, preferably.
Hello, my name is Miles Tailsprower Determination. You almost killed my friend. Prepare to die.
Yes, he has a very particular set of skills. You might as well mention that.
Yeah, we might as well reference all the movies.
Ah, the day I almost killed your friend was the most important day in your life. To me, it was just Tuesday.
Hey, wake up, plant boy. We have people to kill.
Before the Sidrian could add anything to the conversation, another blow from a tornado's mechanical arm found its way on his body, sending him towards a nearby wall. A wild fury, almost feral-like, could be seen inside the Volpine's eyes. Every ounce of his being desired his opponent's demise. He attacked again and again and again and again And again! And again! And again! And again!
+1 EXP, +1 EXP, +1 EXP.
The unlucky plant boy didn't stand a chance. He was already weak on his own, plus there wasn't any form of vegetation nearby, and he could not use his powers. What were his powers again?
It's been a long while, so I don't remember.
Powers that he didn't know to have, by the way, so that's a problem. He is being bitten and mauled, not by Knuckles. Amazingly.
Yeah,
He's
Knuckles are busy with the wall.
Yes, the wall is his greatest enemy, Mega Man. His broken body lay on the ground.
Plot twist, he says to the wall, "No one will understand our love."
I mean, didn't the wall leave him? It realized it was in an abusive relationship and left.
Damn you, wall, I'll punch you if you don't come back to me! His broken body lay on the ground, green blood all over and several ugly bruises. Oh, those bruises are ugly. You need to do something about them. Several ugly bruises. Just go back to kindergarten. At least the rain stopped. Or better, something was avoiding the water to hit Void's face. Avoiding? Okay. That sentence is truly despicable. With the last strength he had left, he could see what that was. One of the tornado's legs, ready to tread on his skull. For good.
I don't know, I think the fist should have killed him, to be honest, since that plane is huge.
Don't worry, he has a weak body.
This is the end!
If only, yelled the still irate Kitsune. And then Void remembered him. Miles Tails' determination prower. The one who planted his seed! Now you see he's raising his arms up in the sky in the style of Skeletor. His seed! The one who claimed to be his father, the one who was about to kill him. A single tear descended from the boy's black eye. It's better this way, he said within himself. A serene smile found its way on his deformed face, while the mechanical foot slowly, then rapidly, began its inevitable descent. The Cedrian's last thought. His princess! And then it was all Void. This does not have quite the same punch as "and the rest is silence." Does it?
So it wasn't null and void, I guess.
He should have said Martha.
Martha! Please save Martha! Oh, I hate that.
name.
Release the Snyder Cut. And and that right there was Space Free. Death! The ultimate escape from this life's sufferance. That was fun. Let's see if there is someone else to torture around. Oh no, I knew it! I had a feeling! This would be the twist! I knew it! I suspected it!
I've just read ahead and I see what it is.
Uh-huh.
Who wants to be the real narrator?
Isn't that you?
I'm being the other one, so...
Firing the sniper? What the heck do you think you're doing?
Oh, hello there. How's things doing? What are the news?
Hello there? Is that all you have to say after taking my role and killing one of my characters without my permission?
Well, I was bored, so I decided to become the author for a while. I mostly improvised, of course. There were a few telltale signs that this was Fang, in retrospect.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense now that, praising himself, yes.
It's been an interesting experience indeed.
Yes, well, you did quite the mess. Now I have to fix this chaos-forsaken tale, thanks to your improvisation.
Improvisation, yes.
Improvisation.
Yes, that.
I mean, this wasn't even a real story. It was just a lame excuse for making someone miserable.
Just like you often do?
I did what I did for a rightful reason.
The vain attempt to explain your beliefs and expose your own issues for the utter boredom of some unlucky reader. Yeah, you did a great job. This looks like a script for a Lars von Trier film. I'm being honest. This is what happens when Lars von Trier tries to humble brag his way into introspection.
Shut up!
Fine, I think I'm going to be a cliched archaeologist adventurer for a while. See ya!
What's wrong with that guy? Anyway, how should I end the story now? Oh, I've got it.
Let's go with the Scooby-Doo ending. Wait, I know this. They fall in love and they say to each other, nobody will ever understand our love.
Yeah, it's just the plain Tails and Void as a relationship.
Don't forget Dr. Pickle, Tails' daddy.
Tails Void, we must find Dr. Wowie.
It'll be a four-way relationship that no one will understand.
Nobody knows what it's like to be a furry.
It's father, and son, or father, son, and son, so they are mostly keeping a family.
Tails, stop this murderous attempt. Just a second.
Hey. Does that count as a paragraph change? So it should be Devaro.
Be my guest, read this.
Okay. Tails stopped his murderous attempt just a second before such an impending act would have been consumed.
He had said the name of his mother, Martha.
So he was about to eat it.
I just noticed how similar to Batman v Superman this bloody horror is.
Why do you think I first made the Martha joke?
He realized that this demon he had become was not the real himself.
Animal I have become.
Plus, he suddenly felt immense sympathy for the poor being he was about to crush.
Because the author literally said so. This is so transparent at this point.
He took him and he put him inside the passenger's cockpit of his prized plane. Then he flew back to his secluded home in the Mystic Ruins. Over the next few weeks, a lot of things happened.
Yes, a lot of things happened.
Anyway, nice fanfiction.
A lot of...
Read it to the end, Devar.
Yes, I know, I was kidding. The horrible black-eyed monster was declared dead to the media, and Tails was its killer. He's been applauded like a hero, and all that jazz. In truth, the Cedrian was alive and well. He still suffered from amnesia.
He suffered for amnesia.
Dark descent.
He cried for fear.
He suffered for the trope, but he could already remember certain things. The fact that he came from another dimension, and the roles that Tails from his world had in his regards, which made things a tad awkward.
You know what? I think he might prefer if he didn't remember it.
Which happened to shock this Tails beyond belief.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Wow,
Yes.
I didn't realize alternate reality version of me would be such a nature lover.
All those seeds and the planting and, you know.
Plowing, the sowing, the feeding.
Yes.
Hello, Daddy.
Professor Pickle, on the other hand, seemed amused by that. Again, his natural curiosity, which was totally evidenced in this story.
Honestly, his only personality trait up until this point has been pickle sandwich. And that's it.
The good old rector survived the coma.
Again, rector is not the word you are supposed to be using right now. Dean might be the word you wanted to use.
Curtly was more alive than ever. So alive, actually, that he decided to legally adopt the Volpine as his own son.
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
After surpassing the inevitable bewilderment of such news, Tails' happiness reached the sky. The big blue sky, just like his eyes.
Yes, too bad he died the next month due to complications with the kidneys. Also, he was old as sin, so there is that.
As far as Void was concerned, he had to live in Tails' workshop for a while, until the storm would have been settled. Or at least until he would have found a way to come back to his own dimension, to his love, his blaze of love.
Boo!
I should probably have said it like, his blaze of love.
His blaze of love, girl. Girl. That's a lot of Ballast McGee energy in that line.
And that's the end for now. I know it's not a real happy ending since Void was not reunited with his soulmate, but at least he's still alive, isn't he?
Therefore, his sorrows will go on for quite a time.
Oh, hell yeah, they will, fag. By the way, enjoy the rest of the song, everybody. Farewell.
Yes, enjoy the rest of the freaking song that I have included in this chapter. Wake me up inside, I can't wake up, etc., etc. Call my name and save me from the dark. Save me from the nothing I've become. I've been living a lie, there's nothing inside. Blah, blah, blah. And then there is even more.
Oh no.
Hi, Arthur. You know, I'm not usually the guy fond with logical thoughts or whatever, but I couldn't help but wonder one thing.
And what would that be?
What happened to Blaze?
Oh crap.
Somewhere in the distant future?
Question mark.
In brackets, which are coming. Hi, my name is Silver the Hedgehog. My duty is to protect this world from the cursed flames of disaster. Wanna help me? Said the namesake hedgehog to a very bewildered cat girl who happened to be there.
And then I am going to make all the females of the world into my harem to spread
No. This is the Silver from Sonic 2006. That's the universe she ended up in. A humongous scream could be heard all over the fiery wasteland the future was. And suddenly, the flames began just a little bit higher. A burning hand, isn't it? Ha-ha! Author's notes continues on Void and Solitude.
Oh goody.
So, it's not the end of it. It continues.
You know, this feels like a huge waste of time.
It literally has no other reason to exist other than for the author, which is to say, me, wanting to just torture his characters even more and do things with them, even though he has absolutely no direction for them as of yet, that is. And he really liked Void, so the entire conceit, the entire very obvious and transparent conceit of this exercise in fruitlessness is that he liked writing Void and stories for Void, but he didn't quite know what to do with him because the major storyline has been quote-unquote successfully wrapped up. So I said to myself, oh, what the hey? I'm just going to write this pointless little thing for the sake of writing it, and I'm going to justify its existence in the most metatextual and very arrogant, pretentious way imaginable. That way, I will mask my laziness with a facade of honesty and cleverness. I want to read the reviews to find out if that was the case, if it worked. Yes, because there are reviews, 10 of them.
Multiple ones from the same person. Oh my. Oh my.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Oh my.
Okay, so let's read them.
Oh boy, here we go.
I think I have a feeling where this is going. Also, sorry for not reviewing earlier. Homework. What can you do about it? How old are you? I'm worried.
Are you by any chance schizophrenic, this next reviewer says?
Maybe,
way you-
I mean, maybe we should start at the bottom because that's where the first review is. If you want to do this in chronological order,
I don't care.
because we have multiple reviews from the same people.
The way you
Okay.
interact with your characters, lol, I can't imagine that you would have had Tails kill his own son anyways. Danke für da. So, well, update soon?
It's a review of chapter 3, so yes.
It's going to continue in another story. This is a trilogy, by the way.
A trilogy of spin-offs?
It's a trilogy for this particular spin-off, which then becomes a quadrilogy, then a pentalogy, and then it just keeps on going,
Hexalogy.
and it never stops until it does.
Ellipses. I'd been waiting for that for so long. A for finally doing it. Built totally extreme.
Totally extreme! Why?
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 Because it was
Why?
extreme.
Okay. Nice finish. Does Tail ever realize that Void was his son? Will this new Silver, who apparently isn't the same one that lost an arm and got killed earlier, go insane and try to kill Blaze, or fall in love with her and get between her and Void, or anything like that? Keep going. Stories like yours should never stop.
And they don't.
It's the story that never stops.
It's a story that keeps on giving.
It's a never-ending story. Na, 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 na. A great story to go with a great song.
Delicious, as usual. You imply that this story takes place in an alternative universe.
Oh my gosh, you're taking this too seriously!
Does that mean Shadow will appear here after sacrificing himself in Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic with that nuclear bomb? Or did you mean Mephiles, who survived that event when you said Shadow? Can't wait for chapter 3. Keep rolling with it.
You know, it's a sign that you have really made it as an author when fans just start speculating about the lore, the deep lore of your story. And be confused about it.
Okay, so we have
This is the guy who keeps on correcting my grammar mistakes, so we can just skip the first couple of lines and just get to the good bits.
I think we should talk about that coffee coop.
yeah, okay, so
Coffee is taking over.
he says here as well, seriously, have you ever heard of the phrase happily ever after? I mean, good freaking gosh, another sadistic moment for you. I hate seeing others in pain or even reading about them. That's why XT421 exists.
You give away his pen name.
Oh, okay. To make everyone have a happily ever after. You're killing me here.
You know what? These reviews are all publicly available on fanfiction.net, so there is no point in us even pretending that we are protecting their identities.
Don't worry.
when anybody can just go here and read them. Anyway, so the next one, So you're merging the Tales saga with the storyline from Sonic Unleashed? Cool. So cool.
Please tell me this is gonna evolve into a story. I just love reading about this couple. Which one? There were a lot of couples in this story.
There were no couples, there was just one gigantic polyamore thing.
Taking him to the SU universe is quite interesting. Can't wait to see Void see Tails.
This is all the way back to chapter 1, by the
Yes.
way.
Yeah. Once again, another success from the master. Are you going to continue this with a full-fledged sequel? If you do, you could probably make a real villain out of, say, Nazo.
No!
If not, then maybe at least tell us what happens to Blaze. Can't wait for the next story.
Why
Bye.
would you assume I would want to ever use Nazo? Even at the time I thought Nazo was absolutely lame. Nazo Unleashed. Jeez. Remember that one, by the way. Remember Nazo, that fan animation with the fun made up supervillain, Nazo the Hedgehog? No?
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that one.
Well, it was popular for a time and then nobody cared about it anymore.
Maybe that explains why.
Anyway, so this was part 1 of the so-called The Void Within trilogy. Thoughts?
What thoughts?
Thoughts?
What thoughts? There's nothing
Thoughts?
to talk about.
There is no thoughts, only Void.
There is no void, only Definitelli. No, not even Definitelli.
There was one
Actually.
definitely.
This was just a story that had no reason to exist, no reason to be. It's just...
Completely pointless.
I'm very glad you feel that way, because next time we are tackling part 2 of the Void Within trilogy. Yay!
Will it have a purpose?
I don't
Will things
know.
happen there that actually matter?
I don't know.
Will its only reason to exist to be the suffering of Void?
Yay! I don't know. Anyway, so this was The Void Within, Void of Sorrow. Next time we have The Void Within, Void of Solitude. And after that we have The Void Within, Void of Love. Girl.
Girl.
Girl. And after that we have a little story titled Illuminated, which is a trippy affair, let me tell you. And after that there is Void into Dreams, which is exactly what it sounds like, unfortunately for you. And after that there is another story titled A Jester's Dream.
Oh no.
And after that, we have the official sequel to Tales. After all the spin-offs are done.
So, sleeping pills?
I just noticed it is a ton of material.
Well,
An incredibly unnecessary amount of material that nobody really wanted or asked to ever see. But they were all too happy to get more of this because they were just so addicted to all the seeds I was planting in the ground in the Valley of Plenty, it would seem.
well, you reap what you sow.
I most certainly have. So aren't you guys happy? We are back in business with even more of the Tales universe to be rediscovered for your reading pleasure. Let me hear your enthusiasm!
Oh, I can assure you, no pleasure was derived from the actual text of this fic.
Yeah, I agree. There was nothing but
Except that one time. One time this fic was funny. One time!
If you don't stop it with the mean criticism, I'm going to sell you all to a British hunting club. Are you happy? Is that what you want? I'm going to dress you up as foxes and go to some idiot rich British guy and tell him, hey look, it's a fox you can hunt. I'm going to get my blunderbuss. I'm going to hunt this fox.
How much would we be worth?
Well, only one way to find out.
to the black market.
Din, din, din.
Okay, well, good night, everybody. We'll be seeing you next time for this thing that we are still doing inexplicably. I guess we are fruit flies attracted to fruit, or honeybees attracted to flowers.
Or we're just living life.
Or hedgehogs attracted to chili dogs.
Or to human princesses.
The best romance ever, of course.
Oh, Princess Elise, nobody will ever understand our love. Bye.
Even Amy won't stop it.
Sonic!